Welcome back. Well, let's have a look at our politics quickly. The race for the ANC in Limpopo's top post heating up as the elective conference draws closer. Our reporter Pelane joins us now. Pelane, good afternoon to you. From what we can see, there seem to be two main candidates. What's the latest?
Two main candidates, of course, and that is the current chairperson of the African National Congress here in Limpopo, Stan Mathabatha, looking and seeking for a third mandate as the chairperson, and he is saying that he's very much confident that they will come, his particular lobby group will come to be victorious come the weekend on the 3rd, when the program officially begins at 10 o'clock on Friday. He expects that there'll be smooth sailing from then, and when it is time to elect, he says he's already aware of who will be electing him, and those particular branches and delegates are in majority. So earlier on, we spoke to him, and he was just telling us that, well, he is so confident that he's just unshakable on that very stance. Stephen, take a listen.
I am very confident. You still remember what I said to you last time, that the sun will always rise in the east and set in the west. That's my certainty. You can compare it with that it can't change. We know the numbers now. We know how many delegates are we expecting. We know how many delegates are going to vote for Stan Mathabatha, how many delegates are going to vote for Comrade Dixon, and it's no longer a secret, because we are meeting with these comrades. We're meeting with branch leaders.
He's not the only one who's particularly confident about the coming Congress, and of course Dixon Masemola, the man who contested Stan Mathabatha back in 2014, and at the floor of conference withdrawn his candidature, and then in 2018 he did not stand whatsoever. But 8 years later, after 2014, when he did come through to contest Stan Mathabatha, he's contesting the same man again for the same position, and he is very confident. He spoke to us as well a little bit earlier on. Take a listen as to what he had to say.
Branches of the ANC have demonstrated their confidence in me. I've been nominated by a substantial number of branches. In fact, I'm waiting for Sunday to close the conference.
Will you be supporting President Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term?
Of course, we're looking forward to his leadership in December. Once the processes are fully opened, we'll be all out all over the province to rally around his name.
Pelane, this is so interesting. You've got two candidates, both saying that they're feeling very, very confident. Both, it seems, supporting the same person for national leader of the ANC. You will have been watching very closely the chaos we saw in Ekurhuleni last weekend, the chaos we saw in the Eastern Cape several weeks ago. Are we looking at something like that in Limpopo?
Look, very interestingly, Stephen, as we speak, I've just seen or just caught sight of the National Dispute Resolution Committee on all branches that had disputes here in Limpopo, and I can tell you that at least 5, I'm still going through the document, but at least 5 branches have been ordered to rerun, meaning that if they don't rerun before the conference, then they will not be part of the conference come on Wednesday. So that on itself has been a contestation issue on which branches should be allowed to forward delegates to any of the regions or even the provincial conferences that we have been part of, that we have seen. And as we've seen in Ekurhuleni, the problem started with the registration. So on Thursday, we'll be now having a keen interest as to check how their registration is going, the flow of it, because that is where the issues of credentials actually do begin, because those who are registered will then be verified and they will be making it to the floor of plenary, and in that instance they may be allowed to vote. But as things kind of stand, there's been a number of branches, including some here in Polokwane, the Pitamakaba sub-region, of course, that has been told that they must rerun some of their branches. And there has been other appeals that have stood and have been upheld, that meaning that the branches of which have been challenged, their validity that has been challenged, they will then continue to be part of the conference. And in particular, branch number 17 in Ward 17, that is Philip Logodi branch, it was disputed, and from that particular NDRC paper that I've seen, it so seems that they will be part of the conference. They will be forwarding delegates, and they will currently they will have no kind of interaction whatsoever, because they were told that they may have to have their votes quarantined because they are currently having a dispute lodged against them. So it has been resolved. That particular branch now can stand and can send delegates to the provincial conference. So yes, the registration process, which will inform the credentials, whether or not the delegates will accept it, of course, will be having keen interest to check what will then happen. And from then, the plenary, of course, after it adopts, then it should be smooth sailing from there, because then the branches will then be allowed to elect their own leadership, and from then they'll be allowed to talk about other policy matters. And perhaps, just perhaps, we'll also be able to see who will then close the conference between Stan Matavata and as well as Dixon Masemola. We are very confident, both very confident of the outcome favoring them in return. And perhaps even the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, might be the one who also comes from the National Executive Committee to either open or close this particular province, as we've seen in the Eastern Cape.
Pelane Phakgadi, thanks very much indeed. We've had 2 years of quarantine after the pandemic. Suddenly looks like votes are the things that are being quarantined. Well, more live updates from Pelane Phakgadi through the week, and of course the conference itself coming up this weekend.